Meds Made Easy. My name is Tarun. Today we're going to be talking about Clonidine, also known as Catapres or Kapvay, and it's got a couple other names. It comes in patches, tablets, extended releases. So let's kind of dig right into it. So in the extended release formulations of it, it's used for ADD, attention deficit disorder, and we've almost pretty much predominantly seen it in children. You can also take that, I think, the immediate releases as well, but majority of the time we see the extended releases used for ADD in kids, especially if you don't want to use things like Adderall and Ritalin just yet, then you kind of use this because it's a little bit more safer, doesn't have like issues with addiction and things like that. So in the immediate release formulations, though, it can also be used for hypertension, so high blood pressure. Right? So, and you're probably thinking, well, Tarun, how does that make sense? You're using it for ADD and hypertension? How does it work? So this is a medication that works kind of very generally, and so because of that, you have a very general effect, and the side effect profile is very general. So let me kind of go into that. It stimulates your alpha-2 receptors in your brain. So they don't really quite know how it works for ADD, except that it does, but it gets kind of complicated how to explain this, but essentially what it does is it kind of slows down your brain a little bit, slows down the firing of your brain. It's called a sympathetic outflow in your CNS system. So, because when you're ADD, you have a very high firing. When you're in a hypertensive state in your body, your blood pressure's coursing through your veins. We need to kind of slow it all down. So for hypertension, it relaxes a bunch of blood vessels. It forces your brain to just manually kind of relax a bunch of blood vessels throughout the body, and therefore decreasing the pressure of the blood that's coursing through your veins and your arteries. But with the brain, I think the same sort of thing happens too. You're slowing everything down a little bit. And that's how you get kind of that effect that we want with ADD. So kids are too hyper focused, we want them to calm them down a little bit, right? Not be all over the place. Focus them and calm them down. So that's kind of how it works. So again, it gets really kind of scientific, so hopefully I'm explaining it in the most general way possible that makes sense. So it just kind of slows everything down, slows down all your firing, slows down your blood vessels. It opens up your blood vessels to allow it to go through. You can take it with or without food, does not make a difference. For women that are pregnant, you really want to caution the use of this drug because the concentration that's in your bloodstream may be pretty low, but in your amniotic fluid, the concentration can build up very quickly. So it's very, very dangerous. So you kind of have to watch out. And they don't say you can't use it, but your doctor has to be monitoring you. And for the most part, when it comes to a baby, you try to avoid just using the medication if possible. But if you have to be on it, then I'm sure your doctors will be monitoring your blood levels and your amniotic fluid, because apparently I think it backs up 3 to 4 times concentration backs up into the amniotic fluid compared to what's in your bloodstream. So that's pretty crazy. So for that purposes, I would say you just don't want to take this medication. Lactation, same thing. I was looking through the manufacturing packages. They say it's really up to your doctors whether you should be on this medication or not while you're breastfeeding. I know that doesn't really help, but that's kind of the official word. Here's a list of side effects up here. Again, because we're kind of slowing your system down a little bit, you're going to see things like confusion, headaches, fatigue, hypotension. Hypotension meaning like low blood pressure, meaning that kind of adds to the fatigue thing. Like you may not just be tired because you're tired, but you're tired because your blood pressure is low, so that's not a good thing. So if you see things like dizziness, passing out, that means that medication is really, it's too strong in your body. We got to cut back on the dose or put you on something else altogether. Let's see, if you are on the extended release, you may not see effects of this medication for at least 1 to 2 weeks. You really got to let it get saturated into your body. For those of you that are taking it for hypertension, kicks in within 30 minutes to an hour. And then I believe you do dose it several times a day or up to twice a day. So, it's not a super long acting medication for that respect. But if you are taking it for ADD, keep in mind that your kid should be on it for at least a week to 2 before you'll really kind of see any kind of effect or good benefit from the medication. Just because it takes a while for it to kind of really like saturate your cells and kind of get working. I think that's it, guys. If you try to get off the medication, you can have withdrawal. Anytime you use a medication that works in your brain, for you to quit cold turkey is going to cause a lot of side effects. So you have to titrate down. So ask your doctor; they'll put you on a titration regimen to get you off the medication. This way, you don't get side effects. Because the side effects to any kind of medication like this, it just really sucks. We're talking about really bad throbbing headaches. You just feel sick. you know, and so we want to titrate you off the right way. This way you don't feel anything and we get you off the medication. So guys, that's it. Keeping it real breezy, easy. That's what we do on Meds Made Easy. Leave comments, concerns down below. Hit subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Are we helping you or are we not? Because if we're not helping you, we're not doing our job. All right, guys, we'll see you next time on Meds Made Easy. Bye.